and welcome to the Sporting Idiocracy. I've got a couple of interesting topics for you today that I reckon you'll find just a little bit interesting. So, I'll start off as always by saying that if somebody tells you that they don't like or love sport, run and run very fast away from them. Okay, first topic, transfer window, basically football transfers in general. It's always a crazy time of year, especially the winter window, if it's going from January or all through January. Speculation and moves and so on and so forth. And every club and every fan is hoping that someone big is going to arrive at their club. For example, like Arshavin did a number of years ago in Arsenal, arrived, made a big impact, and then kind of fell apart. So, this year, we've had the same kind of nonsense going on. Players looking for moves, managers complaining that players want to move, and agents saying, well, it's a free market, they should be able to do what they want. And all the while, the media hypes it up, pushes it, and basically throws coal into an already overheating fire. So if we're looking at, say, the equivalent of this new information on Titanic, we have it right now with West Ham United. I'll preface that by saying that in 1976, I became a fan of West Ham United. As a 3-year-old, I had no choice and really didn't know any better. It was because of a football player card, Billy Bonds was the player, that I got in a packet of sweet cigarettes that just really hooked me on the club. It was coincidental because I got the sweet cigarettes in my grandparents' house, my mom's parents' house, and then around the same time then watched on the black and white TV West Ham playing a game. Billy Bonds stood out, and then after meeting the man, the club really stuck with me. Looking at what's going on in the club right now is just a tragedy. They're already in trouble with this new Olympic stadium. The fans don't seem to be getting behind them. The team have gone way backwards from last year. Thoughts of finishing the top 6 or even top 4 seem so far away from last year. And a lot of it is down to both the manager, Slaven Bilic, and his recruitment or lack thereof. Now, I worked in Croatia for a while, about 5 years, and I worked with one of the biggest clubs in the country and at the time one of the biggest in Europe, Hajduk Split. From 2003 to 2004 we worked on a project and at the behest of some people within the club to look at how we can improve the systems. One of the biggest failings was in their youth structure. To play for Hajduk, to say that your child played for Hajduk was such an honour that businessmen and parents are willing to pay and bribe coaches to get their sons on a youth team. Regardless of whether the kid was good enough to play, it messed up the complete system that basically set them back about 3 generations. The system continues to this day, unfortunately, and it continues to then erode the system of talent that is just so natural and so good that comes from that region in Dalmatia. Now, fathers in our area especially, if they have a son playing for Hajduk and they have a business, they can make money off it. How? Because by simply saying, my son plays for Hajduk, and they can open doors right away. The youth coaches take the bribes, put the players in the team, sometimes even start them whether they're good enough or not, and it basically just leaves this kind of aura or atmosphere of distrust, mistrust, and nobody really knows who really is good enough to be there, especially if their father has a bit of money. There's the bottom-up system that was operating at the time in Hajduk, that the youth coaches would get the players in, take the bribe, and pay money up. So instead of corruption and money filtering down, this filtered up. And the head of the youth section, the director of youth football at the time, was the current manager of West Ham United, Mr. Slaven Bilic. Now, Slaven went on to greater things after that, including coaching the Croatian under-21s, coaching the Croatian senior team, and all this caps for money and so on. Forget that. That's only in the halfpenny place. He thought he hit the jackpot when he came to Lokomotiv Moscow. However, he ran into a very, let's say, big dose of nepotism. The Lokomotiv president had installed her son-in-law as the sports director of the club. He controlled everything, players coming in and going out. So, of course, he made sure that if players were coming in, he was getting his cut. Slaven didn't succeed. He went to Besiktas, had a good time, and then came back to West Ham where he had been as a player back 20 years earlier. Now, Slaven as a player got his move out of West Ham in 1997 simply by saying a player has a short period in which he can earn some money, so let him earn it. Fast forward 20 years, and Slaven's saying, how dare Dmitry Payet, the French international, want to get a move away from the club. However, there is a little thing that kind of catches in the craw and has not been picked up on, whether deliberately or through ignorance or willful ignorance maybe, by the sports media, especially the football press. Dmitry Payet is a client of Mondial Sports Management, and his manager, Slaven Bilic, is also a client of Mondial Sports Management. A conflict of interests? Well, yes. So Dmitry wants to go back to France. Slaven wants him to go to another club. Why? Is there money changing hands? We don't know. Is there money going on behind the scenes between players and agents and arguments and the players not paying off to the manager? Could well be. We really will never find out, because no one's going to be doing any digging on this until, for example, someone blows a whistle. We've had Sam Allardyce lose his dream job as head of the manager of the English national team. He's back in management again, of course. And this is a guy who had form for when he was at Bolton Wanderers. His son, who was a football agent, was able to give access to his father. So Big Sam lost his position as the England national team manager simply through looking for money for appearances and for speeches. Slaven might be losing his job for a little bit worse. Have a little dig. Mondial Sports Management, Dmitry Payet, Slaven Bilic. Okay, I'm moving quickly on from that before I burn all my remaining bridges with English football. I'd like to talk about something that's far more important and vital to sport, and that is child welfare. Now, in this, we had a massive eye-opener for many people before Christmas with the Barry Bennell case in Crewe Alexandra. This is a football coach who actively abused young boys. An eye-opener for many people is a load of nonsense, because this has been going on for many, many years and is very, very well known. I got slammed for writing about it and was blacklisted for writing about it here in Russia. When I brought it up in tennis, I actually had cold shoulders given to me by parents, coaches and administrators alike. This is a terrible problem, and it is not just a single person. These people do not operate alone, they do not operate singularly, and they do not operate without the cooperation of others, whether that is active or passive. By active, I mean groups of paedophiles who operate in circles, who pass children from one to the next until you are no longer of any use, or they threaten to blow the whistle. This has been a very common case in many, many sports, especially individual sports like tennis, swimming, athletics, cycling, gymnastics. We have not even scratched the surface of it. And in team sports, while from my experience and my knowledge less prevalent, it is still there. Football has done a very, very good job of protecting children. However, it needs to improve. And child abuse, in sexual terms, yes, they have safeguards there. But in other areas of child abuse, which we'll discuss another date, they really need to pull up their socks. I'll give a simple example from tennis, how it is an ongoing problem, and is one of the, let's say, passive players in it are very guilty and did not receive any questioning, and that is parents or guardians. I had a young tennis player I was working with, 14 years of age, a girl, and I told her parents, do not send her on tour with the coach that you intend to do so with. They said, why? I said, you know why. He's a predator, and in all likelihood he will abuse her. I gave them evidence, I gave them arguments, fact-based, and testimony from one player who had actually suffered abuse at his hands. And the mother simply turned to me and said, he gets results. She, like many other parents, was willing to turn a blind eye, to ignore rumours, to ignore gossip, or even to ignore facts, simply so her child could get ahead. Because by working with this coach, her child will get a big advantage, and money, glory, and so on and so forth will come her way. It's about time we opened up the discussion broadly and properly, and not be screeching and hysterical about this. Because until we do, until we address all the players in this situation, our children will remain unprotected. And ask that person who said they don't like sport, ask the same person if they like music. They might have some reservations about some music like rap or classical music, but they will like it. So, as I said, if that person said you don't like sport, run. Okay, until next time, have fun, have lots of research, and enjoy sport.